Overall, I think showed a good performance. After the first goal, we shot. We lost a little bit our intensity. We were too passive, especially in the low block. We didn't manage to get from a low block to a high block. So in these moments, we had to suffer. But overall, especially the reaction in the second half was very good, and especially for the second half, I was very pleased.
Brighton set up in a 4-2-3-1, and Chelsea also set up in a 4-2-3-1. So when Brighton built out from the back, it was this 4 shape with the double pivot over here, and the way Brighton pressed them was with these 2 guys at the front, 3 over here. Basically it was a 4-4-2 sort of a situation for Brighton. So when Chelsea looked to build up from the back, goalkeeper passing it to this guy passing it here, and this guy trying to connect with this guy or this guy over here, what Brighton did was they did a high press overload on this side, and you can see that you got one player man to man, another here, this man to man over here, and then this guy, stepping up, marking him. This guy's already marking him, and this guy is the extra man who is trying to intercept the ball. And so then obviously Chelsea will look to go out over here to this side to escape that high press overload, and then if they do succeed in switching the ball around over here, which is obviously not that easy because you can see this guy over here, but in case Chelsea are successful in doing that, then they can have this quick movement to this side of the pitch, which is obviously open. But because of Brighton's high press, when Chelsea did have a problem building up, the goalkeeper, he got involved, and so when he passed the ball over here, and you got Chelsea players over here, to get the ball around to this side, we still had Brighton, pressing players high over here. And so when the ball came to here to Marc Cucurella, Brighton players pressing him as well. So it wasn't that easy. At the start of the game, Brighton had a very aggressive press, and so because they had the legs, the physicality, they could press Chelsea. When Chelsea looked to build out from the back, Brighton went in this 4-4-2, and Chelsea were building out with 3 at the back and this double pivot over here. So what Brighton looked to do was that they had this mid-block sort of a thing, a zonal press, also man-to-man at times. The objective was, for example, if Cucurella had the ball, he wanted to move inside himself, but Brighton's objective was to not give him that space. So that's why you have this guy over here who's going to press him as soon as he gets the ball, and Cucurella is going to pass it to him. And so then what Chelsea want to do is they want to get the ball to one of these guys over here. And so passing the ball back and forth, eventually they end up creating that space so one of these guys, one of the double pivots, gets the ball and has enough space between these guys pressing them, because if they move the ball fast with a quick tempo, the space does arrive, and once you get the ball here, then you can connect with one of the forwards over here. When Chelsea were in the high zone, passing the ball around, and all their guys between the lines, what Brighton did was they were still in that 4-4-2, but this time this area was very compact, as well as this area. So they had this huge thing over here, but the distance between here and here was very, very compact, so that none of the Chelsea players could receive the ball in these spaces over here. That was Brighton's goal, and once they won the ball back, they wanted to counter-attack really fast with Mitoma and all these guys who had some speed as well as some dribbling capabilities as well as good touches. And that is how Brighton's first goal happened, with that amazing touch by Mitoma. In Brighton's first goal, the players were coming back. This is the goalkeeper, he has the ball, and everybody's forming their position, so he's holding on to the ball. And this is Mitoma over here, and what the other two forwards of Brighton are doing is they're moving back so that these guys, they mark them and the space over here is created. And while these guys are doing that, Mitoma makes this run into the space. The goalkeeper catches that, goes with a long ball over here. Mitoma has this amazing touch, and obviously everybody tracks him, but because of that brilliant touch, that first touch, he moves inside over here, takes that shot, and it's a brilliant goal. And that is how Brighton basically overpowered Chelsea with these fast transitions, because they knew that Chelsea is sort of like Pep ball, with all the passing going on over here without much threat coming over here, because they don't have their striker Nicholas Jackson, and he'd been out of form most recently, and now he's injured and out. So they knew that the threat wasn't going to come over here, pinning anybody back and all that. So because Chelsea didn't have that threat of a transition, what Brighton looked to do was, in their 4-4-2, they looked to transition and attack on the fast break basically, and that's how they beat Chelsea.
The Mitoma goal, amazing first touch. Is that the kind of thing he does regularly, and how good was that?
I think special things like this you don't see it regularly, but he works hard. He works really hard. He's fully committed to the club. He tries to improve himself every day. He's very professional, and then on top of that, he's able to do special things like this. But I think I also want to mention Bart Verbruggen, his assist. So it was a great pass, and especially a great reaction from him. He showed personality. He showed character after he made a mistake last weekend.